Hello, it's Nicky. Welcome back. I've just been to the rankest place in the world, aka soft play. But I have washed my hands. But I do feel like I need that kind of sluice down after you've been in those places. Anyway, it's so cold here in London. I can't even take my socks off. I can keep my socks on, and I'm going to keep my scarf on as well. I've got a silly little analogy for you today. And sorry that the light is a bit funny as well. The sun is going down. It's these winter days. What time is it? 10 to 4. 10 to 4. What do I want to share with you? So there are people at this time of year, it's the 30th of December, who often go one of two ways. There will be some people in the middle, of course, but there are people who are like, right, this is my year, I am doing this. And then there are other people at the opposite end of the spectrum who say, I never set New Year's resolutions. They're just not for me, really. I just don't want to do that. And that, of course, is an individual choice and people can do as they like. But I just want to give you a very silly example today. So at this time of year, between Christmas and New Year, or even sort of in December, we might see things on Instagram. You know, those kind of proposal stories. And maybe, I mean, to be honest, if I've got a front row seat on these things, the more elaborate, the better. I'm here for it. If there are petals leading up somewhere, I'm like, right, we're popcorn, let's go. So when people say things like, oh my goodness, I got engaged, it's amazing, I turned up somewhere and I didn't know where we were going, and there was my suitcase completely packed. Now, some people would absolutely adore that. I know it. That sense of, my goodness, somebody's packed for me. I didn't have to think about a thing. Everything was organized, and it's the most romantic gesture ever. I am not those people. Whenever I see people who have packed on behalf of other people, honestly, it fills me with dread and anxiety. Not because I don't trust Matty. I do. I have 2 children with him. I have a home with him. We've been together 17 years. I trust him with my life because there have been points in our relationship when I have been in a life-threatening scenario. I trust him with my life. But would I put that pressure on him to pack for me for a week away? Absolutely not, because he would get absolutely no joy from that, going through all my things. And also I would get no joy from it because I like what I like. I like to be able to throw things in at the last minute. I've got some things probably that are in places that make absolutely no sense to anybody else. And I don't want to be judged for that. And also, I like that sense of a build up to a holiday, of laying things out on the spare bed and doing things slowly but surely and adding to this little pile. I get so much joy out of that. And this is the way I see goals and planning ahead. There will be some people who go, I'm just happy to go with the flow. This feels really good. And there are some people who are like, that top is great and that's brilliant that he's packed my favorite dress, but that bra doesn't go with it. And if I wear that bra, we're in a dicey situation. And so what I want to share with you today is simply to work out how much you want to be in the conversation about your life. What is important to you? And so even if you've never set any goals before, and again, we're not going into regimented discipline, right, I've got to do all of these habits, but here is something to think about. Imagine an area of your life and imagine a way that you do it and a way that it could be the most magical version of it anywhere. So when I think about going away, yes, it would be with Matt and the children and maybe other family or friends, or like, I feel like I've got a lot of trips in me. My idea of the ultimate packing to go away, I feel like I've got a luggage upgrade in me. I feel like I want to be one of those fancy ladies who has a passport holder, who has a drawer which is completely just designated for travel stuff. The travel stuff that I have is currently like in the you know what drawer where everything just gets bunged in. Like, where's that adapter? Oh, it's in there. Okay, fine. And I just know that. And so when I'm thinking about that picture, I'm thinking about a very different version of that picture to somebody who goes, I would love to be whisked away. So what I'm saying here is it's so important to be clear. Whether or not you need a system or a process or any of those things, I just invite you. I invite you to get clear on what your picture is. Because if you're not, you could get a very different outcome and get to the end of the year and go, it was okay, but it wasn't exactly what I would want. And I know, again, it's that moment of, should we be going for the ideal? Absolutely start there, because the ideal is exciting. If you go for the ideal version, and I do this with my clients all the time, if you go for the ideal version, it feels stretchy, it feels expansive, it feels exciting, it feels like you're playing. Whereas if you go for sometimes the sensible option, I've had like loads of girlfriends over the years who do this thing of like, he looks good on paper, but I didn't get the feeling. We're going for the feeling in 2024. That is what we are doing. We are going for the feeling. So go for the ideal version. Get really clear. And another phrase I use with my clients all the time is turn that brightness up. Turn it up. And you can do it in that sensory way as well. What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What am I touching? When I think about holidays, I'm like, what are the beds like? Do you know what? I've been to too many really fancy Airbnbs and the beds are terrible. No, these are questions I want to be asking in advance. And also when I'm asking about, are the beds good? I'm going to be thinking about what my version of a good bed is. Because some people be like, no, Raby, that is not the one. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to go make a brew. I'm going to wish you well. And I'm going to invite you just to use your imagination and play and be in that ideal version. You may have looked over Christmas on social media and seen other people's versions, and they may not be what your ideal version is. And that is absolutely fine. But give yourself that time, that space to enjoy, to focus, to dream, to consider, and really allow yourself to want what you want. I think so many of us might say, oh, well, I'll just have this version because, you know, it's the cheapest, or it's all the other versions were taken. This is your turn. This is your turn to step up, to step in, and I can't think of another step down. No, I don't want to step down. I want to step up. Let's keep it up. Lots of love. If you want to go in January, drop me a message. Check out my website. All of that good stuff. You know where I am, nickyraby.com. And let's get down to business. Let's do that. Lots of love.